and the Counter-Reformation in Europe by Arthur Robert Pennington, 1899, page 162. And there's more on the Jesuits. Okay, this Cardinal of Lorraine had received Gaspard's head. They must have beheaded him by assassins. The Medicis sent his head as a trophy to the Jesuit-trained Cardinal of Lorraine, pictured above. This guy here. Invasion of the Netherlands, assassination of William I of Orange. The Bible tells us Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross, and the writing, the words put on the cross of Christ at the crucifixion, said, Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews, John 19:19. But on the Roman Catholic crucifix, it reads INRI. Webster's College Dictionary says INRI means Jesus Nazarenus Rex Eodiorum. But in the extreme oath of the Jesuits, it has a special meaning, INRI, which means Eustum Decare Reges Impious. Translated into INRI, it means it is just to exterminate or annihilate impious or heretical kings, governors, governments or rulers. The crucifixion of Jesus brings forgiveness and life, but the crucifix is a Jesuit symbol for vengeance and death. So there's one representing the crucifixion of Jesus, bringing forth forgiveness and life. That's what it's indicated, symbolic of. But the other one, okay, we'll read that again. The crucifixion of Jesus brings forgiveness and life, but the crucifix is a Jesuit symbol for vengeance and death. Emphasis added. Alberto Rivera. Okay, this is a different Alberto Rivera. It's not the guy that did the TV show, 1981. Spanish ex-Jesuit, Double Cross. That was book, Double Cross. And it talks about the Netherlands. He was murdered by an assassin sent by Jesuit Balthasar Gerard in obedience to the bloody Jesuit oath. This is William I, the silent Prince of the Orange, 1533 to 1584, father of the Dutch Republic, 1579 to 1584. He was a Reformed Protestant. The Inquisition in Holland, the Great Terror of the 16th century. So all these things were Jesuit orchestrated by Jesuits. This is Queen Elizabeth's successor, King James I, the son of Scotland's beheaded Mary, Queen of Scots, banished the Jesuits, rightly blamed the gunpowder plot, Guy Fawkes, of 1605 on Jesuits and Papists, and became the founder of the Protestant British Empire. He would also authorise the translation of the Protestant English Bible, for which his good name would be continually maligned, vilified and slandered. Yeah, saying things like he was Queen James, had these chambers where he was seducing a younger guy, giving him all these titles of Duke, Sheriff, all that sort of stuff. Destined to be taken to the ends of the earth and creating Western civilization, while furthering the Great Commission given by Jesus the Messiah. Yeah, so this King James, right, we're saying here he authorised that particular translation, okay, for the Protestant churches in England. Okay, so if you hear someone in the church saying, "Oh, it's authorised for all the world, it's the only one that shall be read," well, that's not rubbish. Don't believe it, because he authorised it. Okay, so because if he did authorise it for the entire world, wouldn't Australia, New Zealand, the islands, everybody else have that Bible, have that book? So it'll take them there and say, right, this is the only one you can read, etc., etc. No. So don't believe that baloney, that phony baloney. It's a Stephen Anderson push, right? You know about that guy, right? Okay, there's some more information here. Edward de Vere. Queen Elizabeth's greatest courtier and the Jesuits' greatest enemy, having foiled the Pope's plots to overthrow England's greatest monarch. He was none other than the one who we know today as William Shakespeare. Edward de Vere, eh? It has become impossible to hesitate any longer in proclaiming Edward de Vere, 17th Earl of Oxford, as the real author of Shakespeare's works. So it wasn't Francis Bacon, his lover, as some people claim. It was this guy, Edward de Vere. And why would the true authorship of the works of Shakespeare be suppressed to this day? Because this Protestant Bible-reading honourable English knight, the enemy of the Jesuit provincial Henry Garnet, and greatest swordsman of the realm, used his pen mightier than his sword to thwart the designs of the Jesuits as they attempted to destroy the Reformation wrought by the Spirit of God and to restore the temporal power of the Pope over Britain. With their tall William Cecil, who openly displayed prayer beads with our Catholic advisor during the reign of Queen Mary I of England, Bloody Mary, who always attempted to please the Jesuits, Philip II, who advised Elizabeth to marry the Catholic Archduke Charles of Austria, known also as Charles of Styria, being the son of the Holy Roman Emperor Ferdinand I, rather than Protestant Leicester, and who hired the Jesuit Henry Garnet to spread a nasty rumour about Edward de Vere. The sons of Loyola robbed the Red Knight of his 86 estates. They also robbed him of his right to the throne, and through both Cecil and Masonic Francis Bacon, destroyed the memory of his great name, continuing to perpetuate the lie that some illiterate, money-hungry grain dealer of Stratford-on-Avon wrote the masterpiece of the man whom the British Empire has voted the most important personality of the last millennium. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with Shakespeare. He wasn't part of that group. He was like trying to reveal the attempt by these Jesuits to take over England, something along those lines. What's this? More importantly for us Americans, or for the Americans, the risen Son of God, or Jesus, would use the authorised King James Version of 1611, really, as a foundation for the Calvinistic Federal Republic of the United States. George Washington's holy experiment in the form of a Protestant Republic would last from the ratification of the Constitution in 1789 to the coerced ratification of the 14th Amendment in 1868. Okay, so it's saying there, as Stephen Anderson has, that that's the only one that can be read in churches. That's the only one that should be read. So Jesus would, if he came back, he'd be reading from that. Ooh, sounds like a load of baloney. Jesuits. So these Medicis are Jesuits. Look at this. This chart depicts the Jesuits and their mighty satanic power directed against Queen Elizabeth I, whom they nicknamed the Bastard, and that Jezebel of the North. This is like an old Queen Elizabeth, right? An older one, not the Queen Elizabeth II, who actually was descendant of Queen Elizabeth I. But what was it we read the other day? She was actually Queen Elizabeth I, but they sort of masqueraded her as Queen Elizabeth II. Yeah, she was the new Queen Elizabeth, right? Because you had the Queen Mother, who was supposedly Queen Elizabeth II, something along those lines. So she took that title, Queen Elizabeth II, as well. Yeah, it's kind of complicated. Anyway, we're deviating. But here it says, in the vain attempt to restore the Papal Caesar's temporal power over England, called by the Puritan Calvinists anti-Christian tyranny, the risen Son of God mightily intervened in answering the prayers, etc., etc. Western civilization's Do the same today, that we too may be delivered from the orders of fascist OHS police state and our coming Sino-Soviet Muslim invasion. Read it again. Okay, the wicked sons or Jesuits of Loyola, sought to destroy her, Queen Elizabeth I, in the Protestant Reformation and the preaching of the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. And they were praying, or the prayer was answered, that they'll be delivered from that Jesuit orders, fascist OHS police state, and the coming Sino-Soviet Muslim invasion. Is that a prophecy? Elizabeth I, maybe she had that read here. Protestant Queen of England, 1558. Edward de Vere, i.e. aka William Shakespeare. So it wasn't Francis Bacon writing this stuff as we had come across years ago. The Ashburn portrait of Shakespeare, 1580s. Jesuits, 1605, the Gunpowder Plot. Assassination attempt of King James I and entire assembled British Parliament. So they're planning to blow up all of them. King James I, 1556 to 1625. Protestant King of England, 1603 1625 to 1625. One of England's greatest kings, in spite of being the son of Jesuit-controlled Mary Queen of Scots. James I, like his predecessor Queen Elizabeth I, expelled the order from England in 1604. Regarded by his people as our English King Solomon, and by the Jesuits King Philip III as a confirmed heretic, he sided with the Protestant reformers and authorised the translation of the Bible for all English-speaking people within England, right? It's within England and any others that they came across that spoke English. Maybe in America, something like that. Later on, whatever. It bearing the most excellent and biblical names because of his expulsion by the order from England and his public burning of its regicide doctrines. The sons of Loyola sought to blow him up with the Gunpowder Plot, and later, after his death, spread the evil lie that he was a practicing sodomite. So all those people out there saying he was gay, queer, all this sort of stuff, like the young guys, it's a load of rubbish. It was a Jesuit lie, right? That's what it's saying right there. He wasn't a practicing sodomite. We always thought, no, he wasn't, because he had a family. He had a wife and children, didn't he? And all the secret chamber stuff was a load of crap. Okay. He might have had secret chambers to escape if he was threatened, sure, but he was not a practicing sodomite. So if anybody tells you that, tell him to get a life. Henry Garnet, 1606, Jesuit provincial for the English province. He was an English trader. He murderer plotted many times to assassinate Queen Elizabeth I in obedience to his Jesuit oath. But he was exposed by the Protestant Edward de Vere, alias William Shakespeare, for which he lost his 86 landed estates to the Jesuits. William Cecil, Justice Lord Coke, presiding. Garnet was executed in 1606 for his part in the Gunpowder Plot, along with 7 other Jesuits. His last words were, "Oh God, destroy this perfidious nation, extirpate from the earth those who live in it, to the end that we may joyfully render to Jesus Christ, the Pope, the praises that are due unto him, the Pope." Okay. So they're all praising the Pope, all praising that's supposed to go to Christ, etc. They wanted to get that, they were directing it to the Pope. There's many more much information on assassinations that they did over the centuries that they plotted. This is a really good book. It's really interesting. You can probably download it for free from this particular website. There's no sign-ups or anything like that for this particular book. Don't need to part with your money. You can just download it. So, keeping to the request that we'll keep it short, we will end there. And if you like this particular video, very informative, subscribe to our channel, give us a like, add your comments below this video. We'll get back to you on those as soon as we can. And share this with all your family, friends and others, because this is telling you the truth by the looks of it. That no, William Shakespeare wasn't Francis Bacon, and they weren't lovers. And King James of Scotland became King James of England, the Protestant king. He was not a homosexual or a sodomist or anything like that. That's a Jesuit lie.